This card for Saturday, October 3rd at Keeneland is outstanding. 3 grade 1s, 2 grade 2s, in the sequence of the late pick 5 I will offer you. So let's get to it next on Thoroughbred Ticket.
Welcome to Thoroughbred Ticket. We're playing the exotics like trifectas, superfectas. The pick 3, 4, 5, and 6 will become that much easier. Rushing to handicap multiple races? Well, your host will save you a bundle of time. And now here he is, the self-proclaimed expert handicapper, Mr. Kenneth Moultrie.
Welcome to Thoroughbred Ticket, and I'm your host, Kenneth Moultrie, and I'm here to offer you the late pick 5 at Keeneland for Saturday, October 3rd. And the late pick 5 will be on races 6 through 10. And I want to start with the 6, as I said, and it's going to be the grade 2 Woodford at 5.5 furlongs on the turf. And looking at the weather tomorrow in Lexington, looks like it's going to be fast and firm, so all systems are go. So this should be a very nice, straightforward through handicapping session I will offer to you. I want to start with my top choice, the number 2 horse, a Fast Boat, for trainer Joe Sharp. And he's going to employ jockey Adam Baskitza in this particular race. Now, this horse does have a win on Keeneland's turf. Now, this gelding has not been seen since July 11th at Keeneland in the Shakertown. Only missed by 3/4 of a length at 7-1. Got a 97 buyer for that race. The horse looks like the running style will be good. We have one horse in here. It's not a lot of speed in here, but there's one horse that looks like he's going to be alone on the lead, and I think Fast Boat will have a good position. I think he'll get a better position than the one horse Extravagant Kid. I would probably like Extravagant Kid a little better if not for that one hole. I'm very leery of the one hole, especially sprinting. And, like I said, that horse would have to find his way out of that particular spot. So, like I said, I'm going to go with the 2 horse Fast Boat as my top choice. And I'm leaving the one Extravagant Kid out. The next horse I like in this sequence is the 4 horse Just Might. Now, this is the horse of the 3 who I think will be leading my pack of 3. This horse might even be in front. This horse came out of the grade 2 turf sprint at Churchill on a good track where the gelding was on the lead. Got a 95 buyer, missed by just a length and a half. And so I think going by the splits and the fractions, this horse does have 21 and 22 lick out of the gate. So I'm looking for this horse to be on top. Now, I'm choosing other horses. Like I said, I'm looking for the speed horse here, but I'm choosing other horses in my selections to overtake this particular horse. Like I said, the number 2 horse and the number 5 horse, Chaos Theory. Now, this is a John Sadler horse for Umberto Rispoli. Now, this if you all are not familiar with Umberto Rispoli, he's a 32-year-old rider born in Italy. Is a current member of the Hong Kong Jockey Clubs, riding a lot overseas. Came to Southern California a year or so ago, and he's pretty much taken Southern California by storm, especially on the grass. He is an outstanding turf rider, and I would not be surprised to see him in New York on a permanent basis in the next year or two, since they have so many grass races and the purses and the money out in the NYRA circuit. But anyway, the 5 horse Chaos Theory with Umberto is very, very sharp. He's won his last 2. And this horse was in the Shakerstown on this particular track last year at Keeneland. Was a fast closing 4 for Tyler Gaffleone that day, only missed by 2 lengths. I think this horse is going to get the perfect trip. This horse comes out the green flash at Del Mar where he won, got a 96 buyer with Rispoli on him. So he's very, very familiar with this horse. Sadler sends him back east, ready all the time. And I'm looking for this horse to be right there at the wire in the 6th race tomorrow at Keeneland. So that, for me, once again, to recap, is the 2 horse Fast Boat, my top choice, the 4 horse Just Might, and the 5 horse Chaos Theory. Some tough races tomorrow at Keeneland. So for race 7, It's the Thoroughbred Club of America Grade 2 on the main track, purse $200,000 for fillies and mares 3 and older. And I'm going to get out of here cheaply enough with just two runners in this race. Number 2 horse, Dos Vinos, will be my top choice for Bill Calhoun and Mitchell Moore will ride. This horse has not been seen since July 9th at the, I guess that would be the summer Keeneland meet that was moved from the spring. And this horse, now, you're going to look at that optional claimer in 62,000 that this filly won, but it was a nice win. The buyer was not particularly high at 84, but the horse has won she's won 3 out of her last 4, and very, very sharp. And I'm looking at bringing this horse back at the same track, skipping over Saratoga, skipping over Churchill. So it looks like Bill has been pointing her to this particular track. She's 1 for 1 on the track, ran well, only won by a neck, but I think that the connections are really spotting this horse really, really well, and that is going to be my top choice to number 2 horse, Los Vinos. Now, I did like Palace Avenger a little, and I really like the 59 Keeneland work on September 25th and the 101-4 breezing on this very track for trainer Wesley Ward. But I have to kind of cut the ticket down just a little bit, and what threw me off with Palace Avenger is that Palace Avenger was long odds against Dos Vinos, my top choice, at Churchill Down back in May, and Dos Vinos beat her by 2 lengths. So I'm kind of leery of horses who run big at long odds. They usually don't come back and perform. And so I'm looking at her Palace Avenger getting back in there with Dos Vinos, and that's kind of why I say, you know what, I like the works. I think the horse, she's going to be really, really up near the pace. But a horse I like better than Palace Avengers is the 7 Lady Island, exiting the honorable miss at Saratoga, the grade 2, where she just lost by 3/4 of a length. Now, Danny Gargan has been very, very hot this year, did not have a particularly good Saratoga meet. But Tyler Gaffleon, who rides well in the state of Kentucky, had a really good Saratoga meet, takes over for Jose Lescano on this particular horse. And I think the distance is going to suit this mare well. She has really, really good. I think this horse, she's going to be on front. She has 21 and 43 speed, 55, 108, 3. Like I said, an honorable miss at Saratoga, and that's pretty much flying. Got a 92 buyer. This is the horse that's going to give my top choice, Dos Vinos, a run for her money. But since I'm going to have both of them, they look like they're going to be similar prices. So, I'm not really worried. I'm not really sweating on who are going to win. I just think there are the 2 horses best suited for this race, and that's the 2 horse Dos Vinos and the 7 horse Lady Island. The first grade 1 on tomorrow's card is the First Lady. It's a mile on the turf, and it's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, and 6 are going to run. And I want to start with the outstanding Uni. Now, Uni is we know Uni is an outstanding. She's an outstanding mare. She is pace dependent though. She does need a pace to run at. We've seen Newspaper of Record compromise her at Belmont in the, I guess that was the Just the Game? I think that was the Just the Game where Uni was basically, was void of pace and couldn't run on. That was a firm turf course, at least it was listed as firm. But I think Newspaper of Record is going to have a little company tomorrow with the 2 horse Delica, the German-bred filly tomorrow. So I'm just kind of hoping that, I've heard Chad Brown talk about Newspaper of Record saying he'll never run her over a mile again. I think Uni will bounce back tomorrow. She faced Boys last time in the 4-star Dave at Saratoga. Now, she used this very same pattern last year in 2019 where she ran in the 4-star Dave. She was 8-5 against the Boys. She was a third, missed by 2 lengths. And then she came back and won this First Lady at Keeneland. Well, she was favored again against the Boys in the 4-star Dave at Saratoga. And now she's looking to repeat that effort tomorrow in this particular race. I'm going to put her on top. Like I said, I think Joel will have her a little closer. Obviously she won a big race here at Keeneland last year. I think she's primed for this particular race. I think she's going to turn the tables on Newspaper of Record. Matter of fact, I'm not going to even pick Newspaper of Record for second. I think Newspaper of Record we all know she loves off tracks. Doesn't look like it's going to be an off track tomorrow. So I'm going to pick the second best horse in this race to put along into my pick 5 in this particular sequence, and that's the number 1 horse, Bold Recall. Now, Bold Recall, trained by Brad Cox and ridden by Julian. Now, one interesting thing I've looked at with Bold Recall is this mare's last 3 races at flat miles on the turf, she got exactly 99 Beyer. I'm going to say that again. In her last 3 turf races at a flat mile, the Just the Game at Belmont 2 years in a row, and then the Distaff Turf Mile at or Churchill Down, where she beat Newspaper of Record, she got a 99 in that as well. Now, I see the 105 that Newspaper of Record got at Belmont. Yeah, I just think that was a different circumstance. I think Bold Recall is coming into this race a little better, and I think that she will be the second mare home tomorrow, or the second female home tomorrow in the Grade 1 First Lady. So once again, that's Uni on top and the number 1 horse, Bold Recall, are my 2 choices in tomorrow's Grade 1 First Lady Stakes at Keeneland. The second Grade 1 tomorrow at Keeneland is the Claiborne Breeders' Futurity. Futurity for 2-year-olds, as always. 9 will run. They're going to go 1 mile and 1/16 on the main, and it is a $400,000 perp. Now, this is a tough race as well. And I'm going to start with my top choice, the number 2 horse, Up Striker. Now, this is Up Striker is this colt is trained by Ron Moquette, and Joe Talamo will ride. Now, this horse is coming from Ellis Park, where he aired by 5 at 11-1 and received the 81 Beyer. Now, the 81 Beyer is the highest Beyer in the race of horses who've ran. And what's going to throw a lot of handicappers off is seeing that this horse has come from Ellis Park. But I'm here to tell you that an 81 Beyer is an 81 Beyer. And this horse does not need a pace in front of him to come from behind. It looks like he makes his own pace. 22-45 shows that he's going to be somewhere near the lead. So he can put that same mark down, and hopefully this colt by Upstart can improve. This horse is going to be very, very tough to beat tomorrow in the 9th race at Keeneland tomorrow. So he is my top choice. The number 1 horse, Super Stock, is a 2-year-old colt by Dialed In, trained by Steve Asmussen, who has 2 horses in this race. Now, here we go again with my Asmussen philosophy, especially when Ricardo Santana is in the race, or Asmussen have horses and Ricardo is somewhere. And so I'm looking at this. So I'll get to the 7 Calibrate in a second, and I like both of them. So I'll just tell you up front, I like Super Stock and the 7 Calibrate. But I actually like Super Stock better. And a lot of times I look at this horse where Ricardo has ridden both of these horses for Steve. And I know Steve will sit down or whatever and goes, Ricardo, what do you think? Ricardo say, well, you know what? I like this horse better. This has more upside, or whatever he talks about. And usually you can go with Ricardo might pick the best horse. But I think he chose the wrong horse in this situation. Now, this horse comes out of a Grade 3, the Iroquois at Churchill Downs. I really like the setup, the running style that this horse has, that this colt has. And I really believe he's primed for these 2 turns. It's going to be his first time around 2 turns. And like I said, I think that he will be very, very tough tomorrow in the 9th race at Keeneland. That's the number 1 horse, Super Stock. Talking about the 7 horse, Calibrate. Now, of course, this is another Asmussen horse. Ricardo ends up here. Now, this horse aired in his only start. That was at Saratoga, going 6.5 on the main. And, everything went right for him that day. He was 2-1 favored. Drew off by 4, beat 10 horses. So there's no reason why this son of distorted humor should not run a big race right back. I just think that Super Stock is a little better right now. So, but I'm just definitely gonna keep him in there, because if I'm gonna choose an Asmussen horse and Ricardo's not on him, and then Ricardo's on an Asmussen horse in the same race,